Hey gladiators, nobody bothers a wall. They only throw things at windows. Think about that for a second. A wall does not react. A wall does not flinch. You can shout at a wall, insult it, push against it, and it just stands there, completely indifferent, not because it is pretending, because it is a wall. Nothing you do to it changes what it is. Now think about how most people move through the world. Someone says something sharp and their whole face changes. Someone ignores them and they spiral for 2 days. A plan falls apart and they cannot function until they have told 5 people about it. They are not walls, they are windows. Clear, transparent, reactive. Everything that hits them shows. Everything lands visibly, and the world has figured that out and throws things accordingly. The Stoics spent their entire lives solving this one problem. Not how to have a better life, not how to get more, how to stop being a window, how to build something inside that does not show every crack, does not respond to every stone, does not hand its stability to whatever is happening around it. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the world. He also buried children. He commanded wars he did not want to fight. He dealt with betrayal from people he trusted, and people around him described him as the calmest man in any room. Not because his life was calm, because he had built something inside that his life could not touch. Epictetus was a slave. His master broke his leg to test whether he would react. He did not raise his voice. He simply said, "I told you that would break." That is not performance. That is a man who has become a wall so completely that even pain cannot pull a reaction out of him. That is what these 5 lessons are about. Not tricks, not techniques you perform when someone is watching. A real internal shift. The kind that changes how you carry yourself when nobody is looking, which is exactly when it matters most. If this kind of content means something to you, hit like right now. Subscribe so you never miss a lesson. Drop a comment and tell me. What is the one thing in your life right now that keeps finding the crack in your wall? And stay through all 5 lessons. They build on each other. Let's get into it. Drop "I am the wall" in the comments if you are done letting people get to you. Lesson 1. The glass wall. Feel it. Just do not become it. People get the wrong idea about Stoicism. They think it means not feeling anything. Stone face, cold heart, no emotion. That is not what the Stoics taught. That is not even possible for a human being. What they taught was something more precise. Feel everything. Just do not let what you feel make your decisions for you. Epictetus had a word for the emotional state most people live in. He called it being carried away. You feel anger and you become the anger. You feel embarrassed and you become the embarrassment. The emotion arrives and takes over the wheel. And for the next hour or day or week, it is driving, not you. The practice he gave his students was simple. When a feeling comes, name it before it takes over. Someone disrespects you in a meeting. Before your mouth opens, something inside you says, "I feel anger right now." Not "I am angry," I feel anger. That tiny gap between feeling and being is where your freedom lives. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things." What Epictetus meant is that the same event lands completely differently depending on what you believe about it. Someone cancels plans with you. If your belief is that people always leave, that lands like rejection. If your belief is that people get busy, that lands like nothing. The event was the same. The story you carried into it changed everything. So, the glass wall is this. You feel the impact. You do not pretend it missed. You do not fake peace while you are burning inside. You let the feeling land, you name it honestly, and then you choose what to do with it. The wall is not about blocking. It is about not being consumed. Most people have never been taught to do this. They were taught to express feelings, which is healthy, but not to watch feelings without immediately acting on them. There is a difference. Expression is valuable. But the Stoic practice is earlier in the chain. It is the moment before expression where you decide whether this feeling deserves to speak right now or whether it needs to sit for a minute first. In practice, this looks like becoming a witness to your own life for a moment. Something happens that would normally set you off. Instead of immediately firing back or shutting down, you step back 1 inch inside yourself and watch. What is this feeling? Where did it come from? Does this situation actually threaten anything real in my life? Most of the time the answer is no. The threat is to your ego, to how you thought things would go, to what you wanted someone to think of you. Those are real feelings, but they are not emergencies, and your nervous system does not need to treat them like one. This is not something you read once and have. It is a daily practice. You will fail at it constantly at first. Something will happen, and you will react before you even remember you were supposed to pause. That is fine. The practice is not never reacting. The practice is shortening the distance between the reaction and the recovery. Think about someone you know personally, or maybe someone famous, who has this quality. The person who just does not seem to rattle. You have seen them in hard situations. You have watched things go sideways around them, and they stay level, not numb, not pretending, just level. You probably assumed it was personality, something they were born with. It is not. Every one of those people made a decision at some point, consciously or not, that they were done being at the mercy of what happened around them. And then they practiced their way to that steadiness. A person who used to stew for 3 days now stews for 3 hours, then 1 hour, then 20 minutes. Then they feel the wave, let it move through, and come back to center. That is the glass wall fully built. It does not look dramatic from the outside. It just looks like someone who does not get rattled. And that impression changes how every person in your life treats you. Something else shifts too. The relationship you have with yourself. When you are constantly reactive, you are constantly out of control, and you know it. Even if nobody else does, you feel the lack of command from the inside. The embarrassment of having said something in anger you did not mean. The regret of having let someone small pull you into something beneath you. That erosion of self-respect is real. It costs more than the original provocation ever did. The glass wall practice gives you that back, not perfectly, but incrementally. And every small win builds something you can stand on. People sense stability. They are drawn to it and also a little scared of it. When they cannot provoke you, when they cannot find the crack, they either respect you deeply or they leave you alone. Both of those outcomes work in your favor. Here is something honest. Most people reading this have already been through situations where the glass wall would have saved them. The argument that went on for a week and left everyone feeling worse. The response to a comment online that somehow turned into an hour of back and forth with a stranger. The moment of anger at work that your boss still remembers, even though you have forgotten what it was even about. The wall was not there, and you paid for it. You cannot go back and retrofit those moments, but you can start building now. And what changes first is not dramatic. It is small. You notice the feeling before it speaks. You pause for 1 second longer than you used to. You let one comment go that you would have previously chased. And that one thing, repeated enough, becomes a habit. And the habit becomes a character. And the character becomes the person people describe when they say, nothing seems to get to them. You will not get there in a straight line. Some days the practice will feel easy, and some days you will wonder if you have made any progress at all. That is normal. That is not failure. The Stoics were not perfect. Seneca wrote extensively about his own contradictions, a man writing about poverty while being one of the wealthiest people in Rome. Marcus Aurelius filled his journal with the same reminders over and over because he kept needing them. The practice is not about never needing the reminder. It is about having something to return to when you forget. And the more you return to it, the shorter the time between forgetting and remembering becomes. That person is available to you. It is not a personality type you either have or do not have. It is a practice, daily, unglamorous, worth every bit of the effort. Type this in the comments if you are done reacting to things that do not deserve your energy. I don't flinch. Lesson 2. The art of being boring. Make yourself an unattractive target. Someone wants to upset you. They say something sharp. They leave a nasty comment. They take a shot in front of other people. What do they want? A reaction. That is the whole game. The insult is not the point. Your face when you hear it is the point. The story they will tell later. Did you see how he blew up? Did you see how she crumbled? That is what they came for. Now, what if you simply do not give it to them? Not because you are hiding how you feel, not because you are suppressing something that will explode later, but because you genuinely do not find them interesting enough to react to. That is a different thing entirely. Forced calm is exhausting to maintain, and most people can see through it. Genuine disinterest is effortless, and it is devastating to the person who was counting on a response. Zeno said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. The ratio was intentional. The person who speaks less in tense situations holds more. Every word you add when you are provoked is a gift to the person who provoked you. It tells them they landed. It tells them they matter. Silence tells them nothing. And nothing is the most powerful answer you can give. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are." Marcus was describing 2 separate things that have to happen together. First, protect your inner state. Second, see the situation clearly. Most people skip the first step and go straight to analyzing. But if you analyze from a place of agitation, your conclusions are contaminated. You misread people. You escalate things that should have been left alone. You respond to the story you made up about what happened rather than what actually happened. The untroubled spirit comes first, then clarity, then response, if a response is even needed. Here is what genuine boredom looks like in practice. You receive criticism that feels unfair. Your stomach tightens. The old instinct is to defend, to explain, to push back immediately. Instead, you wait, not as a strategy. Just because you are not sure you care enough to respond right now, you let the moment breathe. You think about whether this person's opinion actually has any weight in your real life. In most cases, it does not. And from that honest place of not caring, nothing comes out of your mouth that you will regret. What you are doing is starving the loop. Every argument, every petty exchange, every online back and forth runs on the same fuel, both parties needing to win. When you withdraw your need to win, the loop has nothing to run on. It dies. And the person on the other end, who was banking on your engagement, is left with nothing to do but move on. People who try to provoke you are not looking for a conversation. They are looking for an audience. Remove yourself as the audience, and you remove their power. It does not matter how sharp the insult is. It cannot cut someone who already walked away. And if you are someone who has been reactive your whole life, someone raised in an environment where reacting loudly was how things got handled, this practice is not just skill development, it is a kind of healing. You are rewriting a pattern that was installed before you had any say in it. That takes patience. It takes being kind to yourself when you fall back into old behaviors. But it is possible. The fact that a pattern is old does not make it permanent. Practice this in small moments first. The passive-aggressive comment from a coworker, the backhanded compliment from someone at a family dinner, the person online who is clearly trying to bait you. Let it pass, not with gritted teeth, with genuine disinterest. Over time, your threshold rises, and the things that used to feel like provocations start to feel like background noise, like a television playing in another room that you stopped watching months ago. You will also notice something shift in your own inner world when you start practicing this. The voice that was always narrating reactions, "He did this, she said that, I can't believe they," gets quieter, not silenced, just less urgent, less automatic. And in the space that opens up where that noise used to live, you start noticing other things, what you actually want, what actually matters to you, what kind of person you are when nobody is trying to get a reaction out of you. That is valuable information. Most people never get access to it because they are too busy reacting to find out. The most untouchable people you have ever met were not untouchable because nothing bothered them. They were untouchable because nothing got their attention without earning it. They made themselves boring targets, and boring targets do not get hunted. There is something Epictetus observed about people who try to control others through provocation. He said they are always working harder than they appear. The insult, the snide remark, the deliberate slight. These are not effortless. They come from someone who is managing a lot of something, usually insecurity, usually fear, usually a need for power that they cannot create on their own, so they try to steal it from someone else's reaction. When you see it that way, when you see the provocation not as an attack on you, but as a window into the other person's interior state, the whole thing looks different. You stop feeling targeted and start feeling almost sorry for them, because whatever they were hoping to get from you, they clearly need it badly. And the most powerful thing you can do is simply not provide it. Silence is not surrender. It is not weakness. It is the move that requires the most internal strength, because every instinct you have will be screaming to respond. The person who learns to ignore that instinct when it is not serving them has developed something rare, real self-command. And real self-command is the foundation of acting like nothing bothers you. Epictetus used to tell his students that every morning before they left the house, they should prepare, not for a specific outcome, for the full range of what might arrive. Someone might be rude to you today. A plan might fall apart. You might hear news you did not want to hear. He was not telling them to dread these things. He was telling them to stop being surprised by them, because a person who is never surprised by difficulty is never blindsided by it. And a person who is never blindsided moves through hard days with a composure that looks, from the outside, exactly like someone who acts like nothing bothers them. The Stoics were not asking you to become indifferent to life. They were asking you to become discriminating about it, to stop treating every bit of incoming noise like it deserves a full emotional response. Your emotions are real. They are valuable signals, but they were designed for genuine threats, the kind that required action, not for someone's opinion on the internet, not for a passive-aggressive coworker, not for every small thing that does not go the way you wanted. When you spend emotional energy on those things, you are burning fuel you will need for the real moments. The Stoics conserved it, and it showed. Start with the smallest version of this today. One thing comes at you that would normally pull a reaction. Let it go, not with effort, with disinterest. See what that feels like. See what does not happen as a result. Drop this below if you are ready to stop feeding people with your reactions. They got nothing. Lesson 3. The long view. Borrow perspective from your future self. Marcus Aurelius had a habit that would make most modern people uncomfortable. He thought about death, regularly, deliberately, not because he was dark or depressed, because he found that nothing shrank a problem faster than holding it next to a grave. He called this practice memento mori. Remember, you will die, not as a threat, as a tool. When something threatened his peace, he would hold it in his mind and ask, when I am gone, will this have mattered? Not in 100 years, not in 10. When I am in the ground and the world keeps moving without me, was this worth the energy I gave it? The answer is almost never yes. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everything will have forgotten you. That sounds harsh. Read it again. It is actually a relief. The thing that is consuming you right now, the argument, the embarrassment, the failure, the person who let you down, all of it is going to dissolve. The timeline is different for different things. Some of it dissolves in a week, some of it takes a year, but it all dissolves. And the question Marcus kept asking himself was, why am I spending my real, living, breathing hours on something that has already started dissolving? Here is the exercise. Tonight, before you sleep, think about the thing that bothered you most today. Hold it in your mind. Now imagine yourself at the very end of your life, looking back. Does this moment make it into the story? Is it even a footnote? Or is it one of the 10,000 things that happened that you never thought about again? For almost everything, it never makes it into the story. The harsh email, the awkward conversation, the plan that fell through, the comment that stung, gone, not even dust. And knowing that in advance, actually feeling it instead of just thinking it, changes how much weight you give it today. This is not the same as not caring. Marcus cared deeply. He cared about his people, his empire, his family, his work. The long view does not make you cold to the things in front of you. It makes you accurate about which things actually deserve your heat. Because some things do deserve it. Some things are genuinely important and worth every ounce of your attention and fight. The long view helps you find those things. When you hold something up against the end of your life and it still matters, that is signal. That is worth your energy. Everything else is noise that you have been giving signal-level attention to. Seneca wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The problem we have not solved yet feels larger than it will once it arrives. The conversation we dread feels worse than it will when we have it. The long view is the cure for that specific kind of suffering, because when you zoom out far enough, even your worst-case scenario looks survivable. You have survived everything that has happened to you so far. That record matters. Start using this tomorrow. One thing upsets you. Before you respond, before you spiral, ask, where will this sit in my life in 5 years? Be honest. Give yourself the real answer. Let that answer change what you do next. This lesson also works forward, not just backward. Most of the anxiety people carry is about things that have not happened yet. The conversation they are dreading, the outcome they are terrified of, the worst-case scenario they have been rehearsing in their mind for days. That rehearsal costs real energy, real sleep, real peace. For something that has not even happened yet, the long view helps here too. When you feel anxiety rising about something coming up, take it to the end of your life. Not dramatically, just ask the question, if the worst version of this happens, does my life still have meaning? Does it still have direction? Is there still a path forward? The answer to all three is almost always yes. And that yes deflates the anxiety, not completely, but enough. Enough to act instead of freeze. Enough to move toward the thing instead of away from it. One more angle on this. The long view does not only apply to difficulties, it applies to the good things too. Seneca warned his students not to be so attached to their current happiness that they could not function when it changed. Every season of your life, the comfortable one, the successful one, the one where everything feels like it is working, is temporary. Knowing that is not pessimism. It is the thing that makes you truly grateful for it while it is here, instead of half present, because you are too busy worrying about losing it. The long view sharpens both the difficult and the good into something you can actually hold. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire at war while writing private journal entries reminding himself of this. He was not a man who had transcended fear or difficulty. He was a man who had found tools, practical, repeatable tools that he reached for again and again when life tried to overwhelm him. The long view was one of his most used, and it is one of the most available to you right now at no cost, starting today. Comment this if you are done wasting your peace on things that will not matter next year. Dust. Move on. Lesson 4. Open hands. How holding tighter makes everything break. Seneca once wrote a letter to a friend about what he called the man who grips. He described someone who held everything in his life with both fists. His reputation, his plans, his relationships, his image of how things were supposed to go. And every time life moved, the way life always moves, this man was dragged with it. Every change was a disaster. Every unexpected turn was a crisis. Every person who did not behave the way he expected became an enemy. Seneca was not describing an unusual person. He was describing most people. The grip is where the suffering lives, not in what happens to us, in how tightly we insisted it had to be different. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Epictetus is talking about a fundamental shift in orientation, from what I am owed to what I have been given, from what should be happening to what is actually happening. That shift sounds small. It is not. It is the difference between a person who gets knocked down and stays there, and a person who gets knocked down and immediately starts looking for what comes next. Think about your own life. The things that have caused you the most suffering, go back and trace them. In most cases, there was a grip, an expectation of how something was supposed to go, a person who was supposed to behave a certain way, a plan that was supposed to work. And when reality did not cooperate with the grip, the suffering started. Not when the thing changed, when the grip refused to. Wearing the world like a loose garment, this is Seneca's phrase, means you are still wearing it. You are still here, still in it, still fully engaged with your life. But you are not wrapped so tight that when it shifts, you tear, you move with it, you adapt. You find the next footing without catastrophizing the loss of the last one. This is especially hard with the things you love. Loosening your grip on your reputation, your relationships, your goals, it can feel like not caring. It is not. Caring deeply and holding loosely are not opposites. A parent who loves their child fiercely can still know that the child will grow up, will make their own choices, will have a life that does not revolve around the parent's plans. That knowledge does not diminish the love. It makes it cleaner, less desperate, more real. The Stoics used a practice called negative visualization. Seneca recommended it constantly. The practice is simple and uncomfortable. You sit with the thought of losing something you love, not as a way to feel bad, as a way to stop taking it for granted and to loosen the grip of fear around it. When you genuinely sit with the possibility that your health could change, that the person you love could leave, that the job could end, something shifts. You stop clutching, you start appreciating. And appreciation is a different energy entirely from possession. Practically, start with small grips today. Notice what you are holding too tight. Maybe it is what your boss thinks of you. Maybe it is a plan you have made that is starting to show cracks. Maybe it is a friendship that is changing shape. Pick one. Ask yourself honestly, if this changed completely tomorrow, would I survive it? Almost certainly yes, and that answer is the beginning of loosening. You do not have to let go. You just have to loosen enough to breathe. There is an interesting paradox inside this lesson. The things you love most are often the things you grip tightest, and the grip, over time, changes how they feel. A relationship where one person is terrified of losing the other becomes suffocating. Work that you are so desperate to protect starts to feel like a cage. A goal that you are clutching so hard you cannot think about anything else stops feeling like ambition and starts feeling like obsession. The love is real, but the grip is distorting it. Loosening the grip does not mean caring less. It means trusting more. Trusting that what is real will last. Trusting that what you have genuinely built cannot be taken by a single bad day. Trusting that you are capable of surviving loss and finding your footing again, even if the worst happens. That trust, earned through honest self-knowledge, is what allows you to hold everything openly without living in fear of the moment it changes. And here is the strange gift inside all of this. When you hold loosely, you are fully present with what you have. You stop spending the good moments anxious about losing them. You stop being somewhere else in your mind while your life is happening in front of you. The meal tastes like something. The conversation actually lands. The work feels meaningful in the moment it is being done, not only in some future version where it has succeeded. Loosening the grip does not make life smaller. It makes it more real. Lesson 5. The inner room. Build a place nobody can reach. There is a kind of calm that looks like restraint. You can see it. The tight jaw, the careful words, the person holding themselves together through visible effort. That kind of calm is exhausting to maintain. And it breaks eventually, usually at the worst moment. Then there is a different kind. The kind where there is simply nothing to break. Where the person across from you realizes, sometimes slowly and sometimes all at once, that they cannot get to you. Not because you are performing distance, but because you are actually somewhere they do not have access to. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel, a fortress inside the self that no external event could breach. Not because it had thick walls, because it had a different foundation entirely. The foundation was this: what happens outside me does not determine what happens inside me. Those are two separate territories, and only I govern one of them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He wrote this while commanding armies, while managing an empire that was constantly under threat, while watching people around him die. He was not writing from a quiet room. He was writing from the middle of chaos. And he was saying that the chaos was not the problem. It was out there, and he was in here. Building the inner room is a long project. It is not a technique you apply once. It is something you construct over years of practice. Every time you choose not to react, you lay a brick. Every time you let something pass without chasing it into your mind, you lay a brick. Every time you come back to your own values instead of looking outward for direction, you lay a brick. The room gets built in silence, literally. People who are always talking, always reacting, always performing some version of themselves for whoever is watching, they never find the room. Because you can only locate it when you stop moving long enough to feel where your center actually is. The world is loud on purpose. Every app on your phone, every notification, every platform is engineered to pull your attention outward, to keep you reacting, scrolling, responding. A person who is always looking outward for stimulation never builds the inner room because they never spend enough time inside to know where it is. This is not an accident, it is the design, and opting out of that design, even partially, even temporarily, is one of the most countercultural things you can do today. Sit with this for a moment. When was the last time you were alone with no input, no phone, no music, no conversation, and felt genuinely okay? Not bored, not restless, not anxious about what you should be doing, just okay. If that feeling is unfamiliar, that is important information. It means the room has not been built yet, or you have not visited it recently enough to know where it is. The practical work of this lesson is simple but uncomfortable. Spend time alone in silence every day, even 10 minutes. Not meditating in a formal sense unless that suits you. Just sitting, letting your mind settle, noticing what rises to the surface without immediately trying to solve it or escape it. Over time, you start to recognize the difference between thoughts that are yours and noise that entered from outside. And once you can tell the difference, you stop letting the noise set your emotional temperature. When the inner room is built, something changes in how people experience you. You become harder to read. Not cold, just quiet in a way that is hard to penetrate. People cannot figure out what you want from them, which means they cannot manipulate you with it. They cannot find the wound to press on because you have stopped leaving wounds visible. This is not a mask. A mask comes off. This is something that has actually changed underneath. Zeno, who founded Stoicism, was known for being almost completely unreadable in conversation. Not rude, not dismissive, just still. When people tried to bait him, he would pause long enough that they forgot what they were trying to do. The pause itself was disarming. It communicated something that words never could, that he was somewhere nobody else had access to, and whatever was happening in the room had no power over that place. That is what you are building. Not a performance, a place, a real interior location that is yours and only yours. And once you have it, once you know how to find it quickly and stay in it under pressure, you will understand for the first time what it actually feels like to act like nothing bothers you. Because from inside that room, most of what used to bother you will genuinely stop reaching you. The inner room is not built in meditation retreats or weekend workshops. It is built in the ordinary moments of every day. The commute where you sit in silence instead of reaching for your phone. The 10 minutes before sleep where you let your mind settle instead of scrolling. The moment of conflict where you choose to breathe once before speaking. The evening where you sit alone and let yourself be alone without making it uncomfortable. These small choices accumulate. Over weeks, over months, you start to notice something. You have a center, an actual, locatable place inside yourself that does not move when external things do. You can feel it. It is quiet. It is stable. And it is yours in a way that nothing outside of you ever could be. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this constantly. For him, the inner citadel was not a metaphor. It was a real place he returned to, especially under pressure. When his generals were failing him, when the plague was spreading, when political enemies were working against him, he went there, not to escape, to recalibrate, to remember what was actually true about his situation beyond the noise of the moment. And from that quiet center, he made better decisions, spoke more clearly, held his authority without needing to perform it. One thing worth saying clearly. This is not emotional detachment. A person with genuine inner stability is not distant. They are often more present than reactive people, not less, because they are not spending half their attention managing their emotional state. They are just here, listening, thinking, engaged. The reactivity that most people mistake for passion is often just noise. The stillness the Stoics cultivated was not emptiness. It was clarity, a clear signal in a world full of static. That is what the room gives you, not an escape from your life, a base camp inside it, a place to return to when the terrain gets rough, And once you know it exists and know how to find it, nothing on the outside has the same power over your inside again. Drop this below if you are building a place inside that nobody can reach. Can't find me. Now here is the important truth. Everything in this video comes down to one thing: the transfer of power. Right now, the power over your emotional state lives outside you, in what people say, in how things turn out, in whether life cooperates with your plans. Every day you hand that power to the world, and the world does something unexpected with it. What the Stoics practiced their entire lives was taking it back, not aggressively, not through control, through quiet, daily refusal to let the outside run the inside. The glass wall, feel everything, become nothing. The art of being boring, starve the people who want your reaction. The long view, borrow perspective from your future self. Open hands, stop gripping what was never permanent. The inner room, build a place nothing can reach. 5 lessons, 1 direction, inward. You will not get this right every day. The Stoics did not either. Marcus Aurelius filled his private journals with the same reminders over and over because he kept forgetting to apply them. That is not failure. That is what the work actually looks like. You fall back, you return, and every time you return faster than the last time, something is changing underneath. Show up to it anyway, not for some future version of yourself, for the person you are right now. Tired of reacting, tired of carrying things other people handed you, tired of waking up already behind on your own peace. That person deserves better, and these lessons are the path there. What would your life look like if the same things happened, but none of them got inside? Same job, same pressure, same unpredictable world, but you stayed level through all of it. That is not a fantasy. That is what this work eventually produces. Not immunity from difficulty, immunity from being destroyed by it. That is the life on the other side of this. Not a life where nothing goes wrong. A life where nothing that goes wrong gets to go inside. Hit like if this video gave you something. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you never miss a lesson. Drop your affirmation in the comments and tell me which of these 5 hit hardest for you today. Stay stoic.